I am Addison Allen. I am from Houston, Texas. I am 23 years old, and we're gonna do the show today, man. We're gonna get into it.
Awesome. And what do you do for work in Houston, Texas, Addison?
So I do a lot of stuff because I got really tired of working for other people and putting money in somebody else's pocket whenever I was receiving very little. Currently, I work for myself as a promotional bartender, and then I also do acting, modeling, and I'm a musician.
And how much you make a month between those different gigs you're doing right now?
So because the music stuff is just now coming back, I took the last year off because I started running out of stuff to write music about, and the shows stopped being as intense with energy. So I took the last year off because I'm just now coming back. I'm only at about $2,200 to $2,500 a month. But I just had some updates today that are gonna make that increase.
Broken up, you said about $2,200 a month. How much is coming from the bartending stuff? How much from the acting and other gigs you're doing?
So for the bartending stuff, it's only as I select jobs. So they have promotions set up at various businesses, whether it be a liquor store or grocery store, or something like that. We work with several different brands, and the shows I select, I'm getting paid $25 to $35 an hour. And the shows are about 3 hours a piece.
Okay. And how much a month are you making from that?
So I would say about $600 a month on average.
Okay, so most of your income's coming from acting, modeling, music, and those opportunities then out of that 2,200?
Mostly music, to be honest. I've been doing that for the longest amount of time. I've been doing that for about 10 years. So I've developed a fan base here in Houston, and I've been able to book shows regularly enough to keep myself above the water.
Awesome. Okay, and how much a month are you making from music then, from shows?
I would say about $1,200 to $1,500 a month.
Okay. Great. And so you've been doing music for, you said, about 10 years?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. And how long have you been doing the, I guess, promotional bartender stuff?
So I got hired for that 2021 and 2022, something like that. It was happenstance. The lady who owns the company that I work for happened to come into the restaurant I was working at the time. I waited upon her and a couple of her friends, and they picked me up just from.
Nice. And what did you do prior to starting that gig?
Oh gosh. So I started doing like manual labor stuff at about 15, working for a family company.
Okay.
Yeah, just helping out. I was cleaning pools for about 5 years till I was about 20 years old. And started gigging as a musician when I was 12. So it was just cleaning pools and playing music up until about 20 years old. The pandemic hit. I moved up to Colorado for a few months. I got a job offer out there. It was about $21 an hour. And because there was no gigs to be played down here in Houston, I was like, I shouldn't say no to this opportunity. It was something I hadn't gotten a chance to do before, and wanted to try it out. Went and did that. So I quit my job cleaning pools. I moved back down to Houston. I think that's about when I got into food service. I worked for an estate sale company for a little while before that, but I got into food service pretty quickly after coming back to Houston.
Let's kind of dive into your current financial situation. How would you rate your current situation on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the worst possible, 10 being the best possible.
I'm going to be honest. I've been asked this question recently, and I feel like I answered incorrectly. So I'm going to go with just a straight up 1. I'm just going to bottom the scale out, and that way your expectations aren't set high.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest with yourself, and we'll have to dive into that financial situation and see kind of what it is. Let's start off with, we've already talked about income. Income is about $2,200 a month.
Roughly, yeah.
Let's talk about current debts you have. What
Okay.
What are your current?
So the only loan that I have is my truck note. I have a 2015 Toyota Tundra, and I owe about $9,500 on that left.
And when did you buy that?
I think I bought that 3 years ago.
How many miles does it have on it currently?
123,000.
123,000. Nice. Getting some miles on it. So
Yeah. I actually, man, tell you, I think when I got it, it had 39,000 miles on it, but that was my gigging truck that was pulling the band trailer every weekend. I was doing 3 shows a week at the time. I needed to have something really reliable to pull that much weight consistently.
And so what's that car worth right now, would you say?
Actually, I just priced it out because I'm downsizing. I don't really need that truck so much anymore. I'm not gigging anywhere near as much, and most of the time when I am gigging, I'm just a hired hand, so I don't have to provide PA equipment. So I'll be downsizing now, and Carvana is actually looking to give me about $2,000 above market value. They're wanting a trade-in value of about $20,000 for that truck.
20,000. I think looking online, it looks like you could probably get more than that. What kind of trim is it?
It is the SR5. There's no bells or whistles, and it has some cosmetic damage.
SR5. Okay. I mean, I see SR5 for 24.8. That's here in Georgia. I'm not looking in, I guess, Houston. But I'm seeing 25,000, 26,000, 29,000, 18,000. This one has 200,000 miles on it for 18,000.
What's it look like? Gosh, man, let me get a hold of that one.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd be looking at some other prices and stuff. You can price it out, and we'll talk kind of more about this car debt.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing at least 22 on most of these, so might want to look at private party stuff instead of just doing the Carvana route. But we'll talk more about that.
No worries.
What are the debts you have right now?
I have some outstanding credit card debt, which has gone up recently because of an ill-advised purchase, but I went through with it anyway because I like my odds, to be honest. Betting on me right now, man. I'm 23. If I'm gonna, go for something right now and just put all my eggs in one basket, now's the time to do it, where I'm not like too invested in anything.
So what's the total amount on the credit card?
Between the 2 credit cards that I have is about $10K.
About $10,000 of credit card debt. Okay. And the interest rates are 26, 27%.
One of them is 17, the other one's 26, but I put the highest one on the information sheet that you had me fill out. I put the highest rate. And
then assets you have currently. What different assets do you have? The car you said is worth?
Got the truck that's worth about, we'll call it 20, just to be safe. And then I also own all of the equipment from being a gigging musician. It's probably about market value. I would put that at all, maybe $10K worth of equipment. Instruments is another $5,000. Microphones and all that kind of stuff. I mean, goodness, between all the stuff from being a musician, I probably have closer to 40K than what I put in that information sheet, because I also own all of the business side of it. I own the studio, or the production company that we went under, the record label. Like, that's all me. I own all the music. So if I were to liquidate everything from being a musician today, it'd probably be closer to.
So, and then investments, what do we have there? I see a Roth IRA account and then a taxable brokerage account, and the information sent over.
Yeah, that's the pretty much the extent of investments. I mean, just like everybody else, I lost my ass in crypto during the pandemic.
How much you lose?
Just a grand. That was all.
$1,000. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I just wanted to test the waters. And
did you sell off that crypto, or is it still in your account?
I'm sure it's somewhere out there. I haven't checked it in so long. Like it means nothing to me at this point. I don't want to deal with it. It's like, you know what? I'll take my loss on that thing and just accept that that's what it is.
Okay. So we got 6,200 in the Roth IRA, it looks like. And then is this a Roth or is it traditional? It is Roth. Okay.
No, it's Roth. Yeah, for sure.
And then we got in the other brokerage account, we have about $1,500. It looks like a little over $1,500. Okay. Mm-hmm. So between all your assets, we got 10,000 worth of music, or you said about 20,000, I guess, between all the music stuff.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. 20,000 truck, 7,000 investments, and then 500 in your savings. So total assets about $47,000, 500.
Something like that.
And total debt's about 20,000. So off the bat, net worth is positive, about $27,000. So you're positive, which is great, not in totally underwater, but $10,000 worth of credit card debt, which is not a good spot to be in at all. And then the car loan, we got $10,000 there, which is a hefty payment. It looks like of $419 a month. So,
and that's a 5.9 APR too.
So not a cheap car payment at all, right there.
Nope.
What are your future financial goals?
So currently, I am just aiming to get get back to net zero. I want to get all my debt paid off, and then get back into my own space. I'm renting a room right now from family, as opposed to renting my own brick and mortar spot like I was for the last 3 years. I was renting with an ex-girlfriend, and when we split up, I just decided not to take on all of that weight on myself, in addition to other stuff that was going on in my life. So I just moved in with family for a little while.
Nice. I mean, that's a good spot to do when you have family that will give you a cheap place to live, and especially when a lot of life events happening and changing. So
yeah, for sure. Plus they're just now empty nesters for the first time, and so they're happy to have the extra set of hands and eyes around.
Let's look at your current expenses then. You have current financial goals we were just talking about. Your goal is to get on your own feet, get out of debt, and be able to start renting your own place. Any other future financial goals that you kind of have set for yourself?
As far as like end game kind of goals, or like 5 to 10 years?
We'll start 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years would be to increase my investments substantially. I haven't maxed out my Roth IRA since the day that I opened it, and that's something that I've fallen behind on and haven't been taking as good of care of, especially this year, because the company that I have my IRA and brokerage account with, they've been managed without me having to do anything since I opened them. But Charles Schwab bought out TD Ameritrade, and so after Labor Day, they're not going to be managing our accounts anymore. So especially at that point, I really need to be hands-on with those accounts and get into that and increase my retirement finances. But that's 5 to 10. End of game kind of thing is what I'm looking for, is like getting into property management and getting into owning a more vast expanse of land. And you can see behind me, this is all natural soaps that my family member, he owns the company, and so we're very big on naturalism and homesteading and stuff. It's a huge garden in the back of this place, and we try to recycle and reuse as much as we can. So not only does that allow us to get some homesteading and get some agricultural tax cuts on property later on, it also allows us to do classes, create content for social media pages, and bring in some other more passive streams of revenue, bolster what we do in our actual active time.
Awesome. Okay. So goals is increase investments and property management, owning a lot of land, which they got a lot of land out there in Texas. So
ain't none of it for sale though. But it's for sale, but it's past cheap. An arm and a leg. You have to cut yourself in half and give them over half of you.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, we'll talk about how to get some of these goals and how to, increase your income and increasing your investments. You're young, you're 23 years old, so you got your whole life ahead of you. And as you start investing as early and often as possible, will set you up for a lot of success in the long term. So we'll discuss some of the different ways and avenues there.
Tight.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I did about 3 semesters. I dropped out during the pandemic because everything switched to online classes. And I don't know if this is the same across the board, but at least at the school I was attending, these in-person professors that wanted to switch over to online, they just went super hard on bookwork and loading you up with tons of reading assignments and tons of assignments over whatever your scheduled reading, assigned reading. And it got to the point where I was doing probably about 12 hours of school a day. I was also working at the time. I was a gigging musician, and it got to the point where all of the things that I was doing were bringing different things to my life. And that menial education, it was a community college. So I'm not talking about like dropped out of an Ivy League school or anything where I was paying tons of tuition or anything. I think my last semester, the one where I dropped out, I think I maybe spent $2,500 for everything.
And were you cash flowing that, or were you taking out student loans for
No, I had no student loans. No, I paid out of pocket for everything for school because I took a year off before I went to school, and in that time I actually developed pretty substantial savings and stuff. So when it came time for me to pay for school, I didn't really need any help, and I didn't want to deal with interest on money that I didn't really need. So I paid for everything out.
Good. That's a good spot to be in then. What were you studying those 3 semesters?
Microbiology was my major. But it was, I mean, this is associate's degree that I was finishing up. I graduated with about 17 credits from high school.
Okay.
I had AP tests and dual credit classes, stuff like that. My school district, New Caney ISD, such a fantastic school district for advancing your education while you're still in high school.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what made you want to study biology?
Oh, I've always been a science nerd, man. I mean, some of my first books that I got went from my parents whenever I was younger and started asking for books. They were science books. I had this picture book on chemistry that just showed a bunch of really cool visual reactions. And I still I still geek out on Nile Red videos and the crazy Russian hacker or whatever it is. I think that's his channel name. But anytime when you're using practical science, that still tickles my heart bones. I mean, that's a lot for me. It's so much fun.
I was never a science guy. I was always a math guy in school. So science was never my passion, but I loved math.
You got to know math to get into science anyway. I mean, especially when you start getting into chemistry. You're dealing with a ton of math.
Yep. Yes, you are. Well, awesome. Well, let's dive into, I guess, monthly expenses that we have right now. I got your budget in front of you or in front of me. So we got rent right now. You said renting out a room, $400 there, $50 for utilities. Yep. So $450 for housing expenses, which is low, which is great. Then we got auto and transport. We got $180 for car insurance. We got that $419 car payment and $150 in gas.
Okay.
So your auto and transport bill is about $750 a month, which is more expensive than your housing, which is not cheap at all.
I know. I could just be living out of the truck at this point.
Your auto and transport is bringing in $2,200 a month. Your auto and transport is a third of your income.
That's why I brought up downsizing. It's eating a hole in my budget right now, and I really don't need 8 cylinders anymore.
Yep. No. Yeah. Well, that'll be the first thing we'll talk about after we finish this budget. But that car, needs to go.
Yep.
Groceries $100 a month, and I also added.
I just pitch in whenever somebody else is going to the grocery store. So here, take some cash with you.
We got credit card minimum payments, which is $250. So that brings your total necessities to about $1,550 a month, and then we got eating out $200, pet $70. What kind of pet do you have?
It's a dog. It's a Great Dane Pit Bull mix, about 100 pounds. He's a big giant baby. But the reason why it's only about like $70 a month, and that's on the high end. My ex got the dog in the divorce, so
so you're still contributing to the dog. Do you get time with the dog still?
Yeah, just got to see him today.
Good. My dog, he left the room. He was in my office. His name is Ben, and he's a 9-year-old Vizsla, but love dogs. So
I definitely peeped the dog. I thought about commenting on it. I was like, I don't know, we'll keep it serious for now.
I try to keep him in here sometimes, but he sometimes just wanders away. So maybe we'll come back in a little bit. But
yeah, right on. Yeah, big dog person, man.
Yeah. So that brings your total expenses just over $1,800 a month. Which, if you were bringing in $2,200 a month, then you're operating at a spot where you got $400 left over. I guess we're going to go through the transactions to see, because if you're operating at a spot where you can save money, then you shouldn't have $10,000 of credit card debt. So
no, that lays down to like irresponsible spending. Like I said, going through a lot of stuff. It's the reason why I got out from underneath the company that I was working for, because it was really beating me up as far as like my capacity for dealing with other people, and it was eating into my sleep schedule and stuff like that. It was just way too much stress for my financial compensation. Yeah. And my last paycheck from that old job for 2 weeks was $800 because everything was on tip share for that bartending job. So regardless of how much I did as far as adding to the tip pool for the week, it's not done by the day. So there was people making the same amount per hour on Monday serving 0 customers as I was on Saturday night with doing, $2,000 in sales.
So is that, I'm looking at, I pulled your bank statement. That's your payroll on July 10th when you got $760, it looks like.
Yeah, it says G&A payroll, that deal.
Yeah. So
that's it.
So you left that company now, so you're no longer with them as of 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
Yeah.
So let's go through these transactions, and we'll start with the credit card, since that's where the debt is.
Yeah.
One has a balance of $2,500, minimum payments $88. you paid $250 towards it last month, but added $134 in payments, $63 worth of interest. So your balance did end up going down about $50 last month. Transaction wise, let's take a look at this. We got H&B, $5. We got Torches, Kingwood, Texas. Is that eating out?
Yeah. That was me taking my sister out. Found out she was having another kid, so I took her out to lunch that day.
Well, congrats to her.
For sure.
I don't condone eating out when you're in $10,000 worth of credit card debt, but that's kind of what we'll talk through, see different statements of things that we can get rid of that aren't necessities in life until we get this debt paid off. We got Ninja Ramen, so another eating out, it looks like. We got Whataburger, another $14. Another Ninja Ramen, $62. Another place, it looks like McTires. It's
McIntyre's. Yeah, McIntyre's.
$8.50. And then Exxon, I guess some gas.
Yeah.
But out of all of this, we got about $120 eating out. And that's the end of that statement transaction. You've paid $297 worth of interest this year. So this debt's been on here for, I guess, 6 months or 7 months. You've had this balance?
Yeah, I would say probably so. But we're talking about the one with the $2,500 balance, right?
Yep, the one with $2,500.
Yeah, roughly about that much. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've been paying about $60 a month towards interest for the last little bit. And then we got this other card, $7,500. Let's see. So your balance coming into this statement was ended end of June, June 24th or so.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the balance on May 28th, you had a $3,400 balance. You paid $300 towards this balance, but you spent $4,300 for the month of June on this card.
Yeah.
So got a little crazy, it looks like, for the month of June. A lot lower than the $2,000 in monthly expenses that we have.
Yeah. So what that was, when I said that ill-advised purchase.
Is that $3,900 transaction I see here? Mm-hmm. What is that? Studio.
So what that Studio One is, the production company that I work with. That was me overhauling my portfolio, my website, and hiring out some hair and makeup artists for the next 6 months to a year.
So $4,000 investment, put on the credit card.
Yeah.
And
which was terrifying. I mean, I was sitting in front of the lady going look, lady, I feel like I'm going to throw up right now. And of course, they're trying to get your money. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. The return on investment is so quick and easy. I have had to hustle to try and catch that money back up.
Yeah, it's not a low amount. I wouldn't advise anyone, if you can't pay cash for investing in a business or an idea or portfolio, redoing it, you got to figure out ways to do it without it. Because now, at the end of this month, you got a balance of $7,555 and getting hit with $120 a month in interest right now.
Yep.
Which is not a pretty sight. So that
no, it is not.
Not just costing you $4,000. It's adding an extra $100 as this balance continues to go on.
Yep. Luckily, I don't know how many payments it shows on that statement. I didn't look it over before the podcast. But that's the average that I'm paying. I don't do my minimum payments. I pay roughly $200 to $250 a month on these cards.
Yeah, I see $300 in payments last month on it. So you're not paying just the minimum, which is $197. You paid $100 more than it, which progress, but obviously a big hole to climb out of. And I see you like eating out on here. We got Lazy Dog Restaurant, $90. We got Jackson Brew Coffee, $5. Franklin Street Bar, $4. More Ninja Ramen for $24. Pearl Lounge, $34. The Boozer Bar, $16. The Boozer Bar, $20. The Boozer Bar, $15. Captain Fox Hearts, $35. Captain Fox Hearts, $21. So $250 at least eating out on this card, and then another $120 on the other card. So about $370 eating out last month.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say a lot of that is going out with other people. We throw everything on the same tab, but a lot of times I was getting that back in cash. That's why you don't see too many gas transactions on any of my statements. Because most of the time I'm paying for gas with cash. It's substantially cheaper like that. So I mean, if one of my buddies wants me to run my card at a place and then I use the cash that they give me back for something that's going to be reduced price, then I'm fine.
Okay. I mean, still eating out though. Spending $350, $400 worth of eating out in the course of a month. You got $10,000 of credit card debt, making $2,200 a month. It shouldn't be eating out. Now let's dive into here's your bank statements. So we had deposits of $2,600 for this month, and withdraws, and we're about $2,100. I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of eating out here again too.
I hope not. I don't remember.
Jackson Brew Coffee, $6. We got Arcus Vapors, $27. So buying your vapes there. What is this? We got a reoccurring card purchase from Microsoft for $16. You know what that is?
Yeah, that's I use Outlook for like streaming stuff, so I kind of need to have some kind of purchase through that.
What kind of streaming?
For like I upload a lot of content through my Xbox because I have that connected directly to a modem.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier if I just have a live membership because I can access internet through there a lot easier.
Okay, so pay an extra $20 a month for that. Food store, $100. Looks like groceries. What is this resort? Why'd you spend $171 at a resort on June 26th?
Oh, I was out on a family reunion. That was completely reimbursed. Nobody else brought their wallet over to the pool at the resort bar, and so my dad, grandfather, and I just ran up drinks on my card, and they gave me that back.
Okay. I was going to say, if you're going to a resort and spending $171 yourself, I don't know what your portion of that was, but $10,000 of credit card debt shouldn't be going to resorts.
No, gosh, no. That was family reunion. That's very seldom thing that made it that's the first one of those reunions we've done since before the pandemic.
What about this cash app for $400 on June 26th to Jeff?
That's my rent payment.
Okay, rent payment.
Yeah.
Sunoco, more gas, paying Capital One, paying your credit card. We've got High-End, the Woodlands. Is that another place eating out?
No.
Nope, another vape shop.
Yeah, that was a vape shop.
The vape shop's getting you here. We got $60 towards vapes this month. We got Pet Ranch. Is that for your dog?
Mm-hmm. Yes, for my puppy.
More Jackson Brew Coffee, Park Mobile, $15. What is this Red Dot Storage?
It's a storage facility. I couldn't bring all of my stuff over to this place where I'm staying at now, so it's a 10 by 10 storage unit that I own or rent.
You got anything in that storage unit you can sell?
I mean, I could sell it. I wouldn't really get any profit off of it, and it's also stuff that's going into my place whenever I move out of this room.
Got an answer for everything right now so far.
I most of the stuff, especially, I mean, at least on my debit card, most of the stuff is accounted for. But the debt is obviously really, it's less from the last month, except for the $4,000 purchase. Most of my debt is from previous spending.
Uber, $11 at Uber Eats, or is that you took an Uber somewhere?
No, I had played a show and there was no parking where I was staying that night, so I had to leave my vehicle at the venue and Uber back to it the next day.
Kroger, $34. Paid someone $90 on July 6th to Zide.
Yeah.
What was that for?
That was my portion of we went out, everybody went out to dinner that night, and I pitched in that. That was me coming back into town.
Eating out for $90. We got $500 about eating out at least right now last month. Got more coffee. Franklin Street Bar, $28. We got, can't read this, Betelgeuse. Is that how you pronounce
Beetlejuice.
That? Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. We got another $100 in transactions at Beetlejuice. So we're at $600 at least eating out. We got Eastside King, another $20 eating out. We got a bunch of Park Mobile, more Kroger, $56. Arcus Vapors. So we got more vapes. We're at over $100 for vapes. We got Pizza Hut for $27. So it looks like most of this is vapes and eating out are the main transactions we have on here. So I can definitely see how if we bump this number, we said we had about $600 or $1,800 in expenses. But we did not account for the eating out, which is as high as it is. We didn't account for the groceries, which was more than $100. It looks like more like $200 at least. And we didn't account for vapes, which was another $100-something, $125 we'll call it. And then we got parking, which was another at least $50 in there. At least $2,500 a month you're spending on a good month then with that. Not including obviously the $4,000 for renting the studio out, but a lot higher than the original estimate of $1,800. Do you budget your money? Do you sit down and budget every month, look at your transactions, or use like an app for creating a budget and tracking spending?
Actually, this month is the first month that I have. Since I stopped acting as a small business owner back when I was running the band and stuff, I had the QuickBooks small business owner app or whatever it is.
Yep.
So after I stopped using that during the pandemic, I was not tracking any expenses after that until this month. And I can tell you the statement for this month looks a lot different than that one, because now I can see
Better or worse?
much better.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't gone out in 3 weeks.
Good. Let's keep it that way until you get out of debt, and then you can start allocating your budget and setting it up where, hey, I have money to go out every single month. Do you use like a platform, or are you a spreadsheet guy that you do it manually?
Spreadsheets.
I love spreadsheets, but when it comes to budgeting, I love just using an automated platform. I use QuickBooks. They also own Mint.com, which is a budgeting tool that I use. I think it's great. I log in, and it tells me everything under the sun I've spent money on. So
I know a couple people who use that program. And I have heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, it's great. So I'll check that too. If you're sick of the spreadsheets or catch yourself not using the spreadsheets, I highly recommend it because it's automated. It does it for you, and you don't have to log in, export stuff, and make it good to go. So, but
I've gotten to the point where I don't want to spend the money on the monthly subscription service. I just feel like I'll do it myself. Free. Oh, well then, sold. Yeah. I'll make an account as soon as we're done.
Yeah, they have a paid usage, but I use the free version. So
tight. Okay,
it's great. So yeah, okay. So diving through this, you have a lot of you like spending money on food, and your car payment is, which I didn't see the car payment on here.
I don't know why it didn't show up in there. It would show up under Credit Human for, I don't know, roughly $450 to $500.
Yeah, I don't see the car payment on here.
It would be through the Chase account, would be that document.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not seeing it. So on top of, I said it was about $2,100 are going out. That doesn't include the car payment, which was not on here for some reason.
I don't know why. I may have just paid it early, and so it didn't make it onto that window of statements.
It looks like I see the car loan thing it posted on the 15th. It looks like so.
And it just didn't make it into the statement because those statements are from the 10th through.
This is showing, I guess, the 16th through the 18th, which it's over 30 days. So I feel like it should be in here somewhere, but no, it's not in here.
Okay.
That's okay. So ended the month with $590, or ended the statement on July 18th with $599 in your bank account. Obviously is barely enough to cover your car payment and insurance. Yeah. I don't see insurance on here either.
No, I pay. It's through family members' deal, so they pay it out of their account. It doesn't come out of my account.
So right now we got $2,500 in roughly monthly spending, bringing in $2,200, which obviously is not a great spot to be in because you're spending more money than you make. Glad to hear you got that back on track
for
now,
sure.
Though. But let's talk about path forward here. So we got $20,000 worth of debt and had to figure out credit cards and the car loan situation are the two debts. The car loan obviously is taking up a huge chunk of your monthly income. We'll talk about the car first.
Okay.
So you said it's worth $20,000 on Carvana.
Yep.
I'm looking at this on here, and I would definitely look at second opinions, look at stuff on Carfax, look at other websites where you can get private party. But I mean, it depends obviously what shape the car is. If there's a lot of body damage, then that might affect it, like you said.
It's the front quarter panel and a dent in the bed. I got sideswiped, so.
Okay. Is it like looks bad or like be $1,000 worth of damage, or is it kind of minor?
It's a white truck. You could go to a scrap yard and get all the replacement parts for it. I just haven't felt like putting in the energy to do so because the truck runs fantastically. It's just cosmetic damage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, frankly, I think what's awesome about your current situation with your car is you're not underwater on it. Talked to a lot of people and they have a $20,000 auto loan and their car's worth $20,000 or it's worth $18,000 and underwater on it. You at least have what sounds like $10,000 worth of equity in the car.
Yeah.
So frankly, what I'd do if I was in your shoes, I don't know what kind of cars you're looking at right now, is I'd sell it for 20 to hopefully 25, maybe more. Depends on kind of what obviously you can get for a private party. You can sell that for 22, we'll call it. Take that $12,000 and go buy a used Toyota or used like a sedan that you can not have a car payment on. And that would open up.
I'm looking at hatchbacks just so that way I have some internal storage for hauling the little bit of music gear that I do still have to haul around if I have a show. But I don't really need the towing power or anything like that, which is really why I have the truck. And it's the reason why it holds its value so well. It's that like 5.2 5.7 or 5.8 liter V8 I-Force engine. They go for like 300,000 or 400,000 miles. So that thing is, I mean, that's still just getting out of adolescence as far as that truck age goes.
Yeah. I mean, Toyota's great cars, and that truck will last you a lifetime, but also right now, not in a spot to be having a $420 a month car payment.
Yeah, it's not worth it for me right now. I could always go back to it later on should I ever want to.
Yeah. So if I was you, I'd sell it as quickly as you can so you don't have that monthly payment, and go buy yourself a car cash. Whatever cash you have after the sale of the car, don't go finance another car. Just take whatever you can get out of the car, go and buy a hatchback that you need that fits your needs. But it's not gonna be as nice of a vehicle as your truck is, but it's gonna have no car payment. Get a good car, get a Toyota, get something, a Honda, something that will last a long time.
Yeah.
Don't go get. I mean, a lot of people don't like American cars, don't think they last as long, but
I love GM cars.
I have a Chevy Silverado. It's 15 years old, got 185,000 miles on it, and it's died on me a few times, but it's still here. So
the thing is that with a GM motor, you can fix it. You don't have to take it somewhere necessarily because the parts are interchangeable. I mean, that's the thing that American Ingenuity did for the motor industry.
Yeah. I personally am not gonna be fixing my truck, but my brother has done some work on it, and I've done some stuff. I've changed a bunch of lights and stuff that when they've died, and I'm not gonna do too many crazy things, but
I'm not saying like do a swap on it or anything, no. but it's a lot more user friendly. Like something goes out of my Toyota, I'm not getting the degree that I would need to take that apart and access whatever I need to. But for a GM car, it is something that is doable. I mean, my very first car was a 1994 Firebird, and I mean, that thing had been worked off front to back by the time I got it, just to show how user friendly these motors are. I mean, the headers have been taken all the way from headers to back, MagnaFlow exhaust had been bored out, an ignition pack on in it. It was a phenomenal car, and it had all been done by the previous owner. That thing I sold it. I was too much car for me at 17. Yeah. I sold it off, and it's doing quarter-mile drag strips right now. That car is fast, bro.
Dang.
After all that work they did on it.
That's awesome. What kind of price level cars are you looking at right now when you talk about downsizing?
I mean, if I could even just, because the way that things are priced out here in Houston right now, it's insane. If I want something that has less than 200,000 miles and air conditioning, I'm spending at least 10. So the cars I'm looking at are about the 10 to 12K range, and at that point I could use a lot of the money that's left over in equity and pay down majority of that and end up with cutting my car payment in half. If I could do that,
if you're buying a car for $12,000, you won't have to get a car payment.
I don't think I have quite 12 in equity because I still have to pay off the former loan and then whatever I have left over. That's if I can get that 22, which is not as usable or not as viable.
That's I guess if you get 22, but if you got $90 or $9,500 left on the car loan,
something like that, yeah, I believe so.
Even if you sell it for 20, you got $10,500 right there.
Yeah,
I would sit there and I'd say, okay, I'm only going to use this towards a vehicle. I wouldn't.
And as nice as the truck is, I could take it to a dealership and show them like, look, you have this vehicle that I've already checked out. I have something you actually really want. This car holds its value. Maybe that one doesn't so much. You drop $2,000 off the price and you can have it.
You should do that. Try to finagle it. Get as much as you can. Go to different dealerships. See what kind of cars they have that you can trade in and do it. But I would try to pay off this car and have no payment at all because, frankly, with $10,000 in credit card debt, you need every single dollar that you can possibly get to go towards this credit card debt. And if you find a car for $8,000 or $7,000 and you have $3,000 to go towards this credit card debt, I'd do that too. Because
that's the goal is to get rid of this other debt so I can just downsize my credit card debt as much as I can as fast as I can.
Good. Okay, that's what you want to do, and that's exciting that you're doing that. Not if you're telling me you're looking at $20,000 cars again, I would not be happy. So
no, that interest isn't doing me any favors, and I'm really trying to get it down.
Good. Okay, so do that with a car. Let's sell it as quickly as possible. Try to figure out as cheap of a car as possible. That's obviously something that is going to drive, but that has AC because you need it in Texas. But if you're in the $8,000 to $11,000 range and you can pay cash for it with the sale of the truck, I would do that all day, and that will free up $400 a month that needs to be going strictly and only towards this credit card debt. And then let's talk about the credit card debt and how we're going to get out of this. So we got about $10,000 worth, and we got about 25% interest rate on it. What's your plan on that?
I haven't used that card in a few weeks. I'm just basically plan is to cut those things up where we don't use them anymore, and then we just hammer as much of my liquidated assets and my income as I can is just going straight to that card to try and get down that debt.
Why haven't you cut the cards up yet? Physically cut them up?
Because I mean, the last few days is just because I haven't had the need or want to use them, so I haven't thought about cutting them up in the last few days. But as far as why I haven't cut them up in the last few months is because I was getting those terrible paychecks every 2 weeks, and so I was having to wait. I mean, $800 with my bills coming out of there, it wasn't making it where I couldn't pay for anything else if I needed to go to the grocery store or if I was going out in those months, which I was. I didn't have money on my debit card to use until the next Friday or whatever. So use the card then and just pay $250 instead of my minimum payment. I thought I was on track doing it like that, but with the interest payments, which I wasn't taking account of at the time, I was still ending up at almost a net zero or losing money.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, being $10,000 in credit card debt, I would cut the cards up physically so you cannot physically use them again, and that's obviously can put you in a pinch with, okay, maybe I don't have cash to spend on X, Y, and Z, but it's like that's going to make you hustle and figure out ways to get out of it versus, hey, I know I have this safe haven where I can swipe the credit card and put it on there, and that's going to put you in a spot where, you're paying $250 towards it, but you got $150 in interest going, and your balance went up over the month. So I would frankly cut them up immediately. And
I'll tell you what, here, give me just 1 sec. We'll do it right now. We'll do them right now on the show.
I've never had someone cut up credit cards on the show before, so this is the first, and this is awesome.
I'll keep these out of camera view, but we can show one of the pieces or whatever afterwards.
Yeah, let's see it. There we go.
They're gone.
We go. Cut up. Can't be used anymore. And now we're making progress to getting out of debt and being debt free, which is awesome.
It's all done.
That's awesome, Addison. I love it. So taking the steps here. So now we've talked about the car loan. That should be going away. Selling that. Credit cards, we got $10,000 there. My question for you is, why haven't you liquidated the brokerage account yet to pay this towards the credit cards?
I will actually be considering removing my brokerage account come Labor Day, because after that point, it will no longer be managed. So it's not going to have anywhere near the amount of potential for growth. At that point, I can remove those funds and use it for what I actually need. But at the moment, it's still growing.
But it's not outperforming 26% interest rates on your credit card debt.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I wouldn't wait. I'd sell it immediately. I mean, tomorrow.
Close it out.
Yeah, you need to account for capital gains taxes too. I'm not sure what your cost basis is on this $1,500, but if you put in say $1,000 and it's grown to $1,500, $500 capital gain there, you're going to owe taxes on that $500, whether it's short term or long term. So it could be 15%, or it could be up to your federal income level on a short term.
Because I've pulled money out of there before, but I wasn't taxed on it because it was just reinvested into another. That was money pulled out of there to go into crypto.
You still owe taxes on the gains that you have during that time. So if you put $500 into something and it turns into $1,000 and you sell that and you put into even any other asset, you still owe taxes on that $500. So
is it still, because if I put in like, say, I think I put in like $2,000, and so I removed only $1,000, you still pay taxes on that if you're not removing the net profit.
Yes. So the platforms that use Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade, and everything, they'll send you statements every single year that say this is your capital gains, your net realized gains for the year, net losses, etc. So just monitor those, look at those, and they'll have that in this year for you, so you can make sure. But typically, what I would say is, if you go in, you can see your realized gains, unrealized gains for this year when you sell this. And if it's $500, put aside 20% of that. So if it's $500, you need to put away $100. Put away $100 in a savings account that you're like, I can't touch this because it's for taxes for next year. But just make sure you account for that. But I would liquidate that tomorrow. I mean, you got $1,500 in there, and frankly, the stock market's performed well this year. It's up 18% about year to date. 18% is still lower than 26%. So your money is better paying off credit card debt than investing at any time ever. You're not going to risk-free earn 26% interest rates anywhere in the world.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
It would, and that's what people would teach you, and that's why you got into crypto, because you heard about people making $1 million, $10 million on there, and then but that
but I was going to be another one of those Ethereum jumps, man. I had to try.
A lot of people want that, and some people do make money on it, but 99% of people don't.
You could end up getting into one of those cool Ethereum pyramid schemes and try and make money doing that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things have happened in that world in the last 12, 18 months, I guess now.
Yeah.
But
it's rough out here.
I would sell that immediately, and I would also look and see what's in your crypto accounts as well right now. If you can log into those, whatever platform you're on, and give a couple $100 there, if that $2,000 turned to $500 or $2,000 turned into $800 or whatever it might be, I would take that. I would liquidate that as well and put that in towards paying off this credit card debt. And then you've got about $2,000 worth of the credit card debt paid off. So you got $8,000 left after that. And then you got to start hustling to figure out how am I going to pay this off as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's why I've been picking up as many gigs as I can. I've even been doing like manual labor around the area that I live in, doing handyman stuff. Cause I did log home restoration stuff. So like finishing touches and stuff on houses and interiors and stuff that I do pretty easily.
Good. Well, keep hustling there. Right now I'm looking, I kind of reshaped your monthly budget. If we have the $450 for housing, if we get rid of the car payment and that goes from $750 down to $330, groceries up to $200 a month, credit card minimum payment $250, so that's $1,200 there. Eating out needs to go from $600 down to $150 a month.
Let's take it to zero. Take it to zero.
That's what I like. Okay, we'll take it to zero.
Yeah, legitimately, I have not been out in weeks.
Good. Let's keep it at zero. We got the vape at $50 a month, because I don't think I'll be able to talk you out of that one. Parking $50. I don't know if you need that for different gigs and stuff you're doing.
No, that was that shit job that I was working as a bartender. On Saturdays and Sundays, we could not park within our employee parking lot because all of the parking had to be open to customers. So we had to park off site. I was spending $15 a day on parking to go to work.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
So parking, we're nixing that down to zero. And
that's zero.
And then we got pet. So we'll keep the $70 worth of pet in there right there. So,
yeah, and that's not every month that I'm having to spend that. I just put that on there as a base payment because if I do purchase anything for my dog, it's like a bag of food, which it arguably is high-end food. But yeah, I make that purchase like once every other month. It's not that big a deal.
Okay, so total expenses $1,350 a month. So we just took it from $2,500 down to $1,350 by getting rid of the truck and cutting out, eating out, and getting we got to cut the vape back from $125 to $50. Do you think we can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. The large purchase that was on there that's seldom that ever happens. Most of the time, I'm only spending like $30 a month on a bottle of juice.
Okay,
maybe 15 on some coils.
Can get monthly expenses down to $1,350, which means gotta hustle to that'll leave us $850 left over to go on top of the $250 a month in credit card payments.
Mm-hmm. And jump down that debt real quick.
If we sell the crypto, hopefully there's a couple $100 in there, and if we sell the brokerage account and put us at, we'll call it $8,500 because we don't know how much is in the crypto, but if that gives you $1,050 a month to put towards debt, including the minimum payment, so an additional $850. Actually, you'd have $1,100 then, because your minimum payment's $250. So you'd have $1,100 to put towards the credit card debt. Do you know how long it would take you to pay off this remaining $8,000?
Off the top of my head, like 4 months, something like that.
Won't be 4 months. You got $8,000 in debt. It will take you probably about 9 to 10 months, because.
I'm sorry. I'm including using that's the numbers I got from the show that I did a while back. My bad.
Yeah. So right now, if you put $850 towards it a month, that's $850. That's been going towards the principal. So it's gonna take you about 8 months to pay down that remaining $8,000. But hey, that's a great spot to be in. Versus right now, if you pay the minimum $250 or you only put $400 a month towards it in total, that's gonna take you 2 or 3 years to pay everything off. So
and also, one of those updates that I got today, I just got a call back for a steady gig acting job that would be paying me $700 a week.
Awesome.
My income will be increasing in the next month or so as well. So I'm really looking forward to paying this stuff off soon.
Awesome. That's exciting. That's the other thing you got to do is focus on how do you increase your income, and whether that's once you get a new car, you DoorDash, you Uber Eats, whatever it is, to get some more income on the side, or find more gigs, acting gigs, music gigs, whatever it might be.
Trying to monetize my bartending Instagram and YouTube page as well. So
Good.
If anybody wants to check that out, that is out there.
Awesome. I love it. And you just got to hustle. I mean, right now, I love you want to get out of this debt. That's the best thing. You've already started working on it. And
I know about the debt as well. It's not like I'm just avoiding it.
Yeah. So, it's there and trying to figure out ways to do it. But I mean, right now you have a path to get out of this debt within the next 12 months. Obviously, it's not going to be necessarily easy to not go eat out for months or not spend money on things. But getting rid of the truck going to be, might not be what you want to do, but I think getting rid of the truck is going to wipe away $10,000 to $20,000 worth of debt. And then
that's more of what I want to do than keep onto that truck. I don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that being said, I'd probably put your financial situation around, I'll give you a 3 right now. So higher than the one you said initially, because we see an immediate opportunity to sell the truck to get rid of a lot of it. We see an immediate opportunity to sell the stuff in the brokerage account to wipe away $1,500 there. So it'll still leave you with $8,500 in credit card debt, which is no small amount. But you at least, you're cognizant about the debt. You've been working on budgeting and not eating out for the last 30 days since these statements happened. This allows you to you're at least aware of it and taking action on it. So that puts you about a 3. But really, it all comes down to the next 12 months. How bad you want to get out of this debt? Are you going to hustle to make more money? Are you going to hustle to not go out to eat and just stay disciplined with that? But you have had the opportunity to do that. And then once you're out of debt, then hey, you need to, like you said, you want to start building your retirement accounts up or Roth IRA. Where can you get in the spot? Instead of putting $1,100 a month towards, you can figure out, okay, what's my income? What's a comfortable amount in monthly rent I can pay for a place? I don't know what you can get 1 bedroom for in the area. It might not be the nicest place, but you can get a 1 bedroom for a reasonable amount that is about 30% of your net income. And then everything after that, hey, let's start putting that towards a Roth IRA, start maxing that out for a year, every year. Then you'll be okay when you're 65, 70 years old and you've been putting away $6,000 a year for that.
It's nice, right? Yeah, the opportunity for growth there is substantial.
Yeah, and you're young and you're 23 and you've learned your lessons of going into credit card debt of a $400 a month car payment for the last.
Did my thing, yeah.
And now it's how do you stay out of debt for the rest of your life and not go into this consumer debt that'll hurt you and just take your money every single month. So
yeah, it's a plague in this country, man. Consumerism's wild out here. People just be throwing their money into stuff that is unnecessary.
Yeah, and that's why
myself included.
That's why I started the podcast, because it's definitely a problem in America today. Is people like swiping their credit cards, people like fancy cars, and they finance them out the roof, and personal loans, student loans, everything else in between is a problem out here in America. And want to try to help educate the world and learn more about finances. And I'm proud of you for already taking action on figuring out some different options that you have with selling your car, but still have to get everything else in check and cut all the eating out because you can't afford to do that, and start figuring out how to get out of this credit card debt. It's not going to be an easy next 12 months, but you at least have an opportunity to do it. You're young, you got the energy to do it.
I like the hustle, man. I genuinely enjoy the self-gratification that comes with really trying to get yourself out there and hustle for yourself.
Good. And then after you get this debt, then you're going to start hustling to build up that wealth long-term and investments and retirements and everything else. And one thing I would encourage you to do is read I'll Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. It's a book. Okay. He's a well-known author in the finance world. But when you're talking about your E-Trade account being managed by them, or TD Ameritrade, and now they're being acquired by Charles Schwab, so it's not. But read into his book, he talks a lot about index funds and investing there. You don't need necessarily a financial advisor or someone actively managing your portfolio to be able to invest for long term. It's really a lot of people set up a system where they invest in different index funds and set it and forget it every single month. Money comes out and they never have to think about it. So I'll just look into educating yourself more on that in the investing world. So when you get out of this debt, you have the opportunity to start investing and educate yourself on it. So you know what you're investing into and how to build that yourself versus relying on like a financial advisor or planner or so. But Addison, really do appreciate your time today, just coming on here and chatting and being open and transparent about your finances. And hopefully this was somewhat beneficial to kind of dive into things and
absolutely
talk about different options that you have, because you do have multiple different options to start paying down this debt as quick as possible. And really just do appreciate your time and transparency today.
For sure. Yeah, I've actually, I've been trying to reach out to some of my peers that are in finance, and I'm out here trying to learn. I want to make my situation as good as it possibly can be, so that way I can start planning ahead.
Yeah, that's the way to go. So, what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone in a similar situation as you right now?
Oh, don't trust anybody. Do your research, and don't say yes to anything you're not certain you can fulfill.
Love it. Yeah, there's definitely have to learn on your own how to invest, how to save money, how to get out of debt, and there's a lot of there's beautiful things. A lot of free resources out there. Watch this channel, subscribe if you want to get out of debt or want to learn about money. But you have to learn if people are selling you on get rich quick schemes and it's too good to be true. And yeah, have to just understand what you're getting yourself into. So
Yeah, I mean, I just had a company reach out to me trying to get me to sell life insurance, a supplemental insurance, and after reading some employee reviews on the company, I was like, yeah, there's no chance I'm gonna get into anything
was
like
it
that.
whole life insurance?
Supplemental health insurance and full life insurance, I believe.
The only type of health insurance obviously is needed, but if you're trying to sell whole life insurance, don't do that. Term life insurance is the way to go. Whole life insurance is very pro broker and commission based and not needed.
Yeah, it was all commission based. There was no fixed wage.
Yeah,
it was wild. I was like, no.
So then you got to go find people that are going to do it, and it benefits you more than it does them. So
yep.
But awesome, Addison. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to follow up with you. I'll send you a bunch of resources after this as well on things that I would suggest or things that I use or I've learned a lot from, and hopefully those will be beneficial to you. But wish you all the best in this path forward, and know you can get out of debt in the next 12 months, and you'll be feeling a lot better at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.